Oh. Hello, everyone. How you doing? Welcome back to another podcast, another dynamic show of the Proactive Protection with Miss Lynette Hillian. And yes, hey, she is here to talk to you today. Not trying to sell you anything, but hey, just give you some information and have a conversation. How's everything, Lynette?
Everything's good except for all the rain we're getting from the storm that's moving this way. So it's lots of rain.
All right, yes, and yes, we're getting it over here too as well. That hurricane. So,
Yes,
but that's why we need some protection from that as well as other things. That's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah,
exactly.
yes,
Exactly.
and I believe it is charting the path, securing your financial future.
Yes.
Yes, you need that kind of proactive protection because tomorrow's not promised to nobody out there. So,
Right.
Lynette, hey, the floor is yours. You go ahead on now.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you all again. I told you I'd be back once again. And so I'm here talking about charting your path and securing your financial future. And so I want, as you know, I always start with some questions just to kind of get you thinking. But before I do that, if you look up in the right hand corner, there is a QR code for where you can actually fill out the information, and the information will come to me, and then I will contact you so that we can talk further. Okay, so go ahead and do that. I'll be glad to call you, and we can talk further. So we don't do cookie cutter. So we more so want to focus on just in general now, but give me an opportunity to talk with you further about it. So if you fill that information out, I will be glad to call you and we can talk further about your particular goals. So one of the things that, because as I told you all before, I'm an educator and have been in education for over 15 years. And so not only am I thinking about the adults' financial future, but also the children's financial future. So with saying that, I want you to consider several things. Number one, we are living a lot longer. Some of us are living to 90s, 100s, and so forth. So we need to start thinking about preparing for the longer life that we have. Okay. So we don't want to do that when we're older. We want to start doing that now as soon as possible. Because again, we're not promised tomorrow. Life can change in an instant. And you want to be as prepared as possible to adapt to those particular changes. So that's all it's about when you are charting your path. What are your goals? So again, that's individualized. So one person's goal differs from another person's goal. So that's why it's important that we talk about what it is your short-term and your long-term goals are. Extremely important. And then we go from there in terms of advising you on some possible options for you and your family. So that's one. But this was a question that was actually asked of me. And so I thought about it and talking about our children, and I talk about children a lot because they're very precious, they are priceless, and we protect them, and that's what we do. So why not include proactive protection in securing their financial future as well? So the question that was presented to me when I was talking to someone is, Lynette, you're talking to me about information that I had no idea about. I didn't know, some of these things that you're talking about, I didn't know anything about. No one has ever talked to me about this in my community. And the question that was posed to me is, this is what the person asked me. So I want you to think about this as I ask this. So they asked me, and we talked about this before, and then I'll tell you what my follow-up to them was. The question they asked me was, well, why isn't anyone talking to us about this? And I said, that's a good question. I'm not sure why no one is actually talking to you about that. And maybe it's because people have this perception when you start talking about proactive protection and asset protection and building a legacy, that a lot of times that doesn't have a positive connotation to it for some people. So the question I asked back was, okay, so you're saying no one has talked to you about this in your community. So I'm going to pose this question to you all. Has anyone talked to you about some of the topics we talk about in your community in which you live? Has anyone said anything to you about it? So I want you to think about. I want you to think about that. We haven't had these talks, but and I'm just, like I said, my favorite word is transparency. And I believe in being transparent because we have to have a sense of urgency in the sense that we can't wait till tomorrow to do this, to have these conversations. We have to have the conversation now.
Agreed.
Because being an educator, there are things that I didn't think I would even see, with some of my students. Because they had their whole lives ahead of them. And then something occurs and then, you kind of feel helpless. So I don't want you to have that. I don't want you to have that feeling. I don't. I want you to be able to plan and have a voice now. And that's why we have these conversations about this.
Yes, most definitely. Hey, look, if you are just tuning in, make sure, hey, feel free to ask her a question. All right, as we talking about a great topic here, that especially when it comes to children. All right, again, charting the path of securing your financial future. All right, as you said, tomorrow is not promised to us. And so, and matter of fact, with the next minute or so, and so you are definitely so right about that, Lynette. I mean, kids, unfortunately, not just kids, but people are dying every day, and a lot are dying unprepared. So yeah, definitely, yeah. Go ahead, elaborate even more. Go ahead.
So I say that to you all, and that's it's a topic we don't like to talk about at all. But I don't want to just focus on death. That's not my intent. But because we're living longer, we also need to focus on living. So if something does occur and maybe we can't be at our jobs for a particular reason, or something happens to where we're not able to move around like we used to, you have to have something to come in so you're able to take care of your families and also yourself. So, for example, I'm not sure how many of you have heard of living benefits before. And that may be something you have or you have not heard. I'm not sure. Okay, so living benefits, if something were to occur in terms of an illness, whether that be just chronic, critical, or terminal, then there is something that will help you maintain your family in terms of financially. So, and again, some of these options are dependent upon a number of factors. So it's not, when I'm saying living benefits, doesn't mean everyone will qualify for that. But again, that's why it's important that you fill out your information or you give me a call. Because I don't know what your situation is. I won't know until I talk to you and we do a needs analysis. And that's the first thing we're going to do. But we cannot continue to do this as a community. We just can't. We can't do it, because then who is it left up to take care of? Those that are, for whatever reason, may still be here or not, or they may be experiencing an illness. So we have to prepare. We have to start thinking about preparation. We have to start doing that.
Lynette, I was thinking, can you elaborate even more on those living benefits? Like what does that entail?
So what happens is, as I said before, it doesn't mean everyone would qualify for that. But depending on the particular condition or illness, then they can tap into what we call their what you call the face value of the policy. So there would be a percentage of that they could use for a specific amount of time, so that they're able to meet some of the needs of their family financially. But again, if they want to find out more specifically, then you have to call me. You either call me or fill out the information so I can get to you and we can talk.
Awesome.
So I can give you more information that way. That's just it, and that's just an overview. And again, as I said before, it does not mean everyone would necessarily qualify for that. And that's why it's important that we talk. We set up an appointment and we talk about you and what your goals are for the future, what are the goals for your children. You want to build a legacy for them?
Right.
College is expensive. And I know. So that's expensive, and that would help. And then if they, are able to, scholarship things, and then that means that there's something left for them to do later. Use that money for something later that they want to do, a business or what have you. But, it's better to have it and not need it than at that time for schooling. I mean, because you can use it for something else, but to have it and then, okay, well, we didn't need that for school, but they're able to use it for something else. They could use it for a business, or maybe at some point, depending on when you start, they could retire at a certain age early or do something else with it, but at least it's an option. If you don't start, there is no option. The options are limited. So you want to give your children and yourselves as well as many options as possible. So with the living benefits, those are for adults, not for those under 17. So let me say that.
Yeah.
Well, let me clarify that. So that would be for those who are 18 and older. So those younger than 17, no. But again, if you start early enough, because I have a client now and she's a grandmother. So when I say children, don't think I'm talking about children that are necessarily under your roof. This is a grandchild, and her grandchild is 8 months old. And so she said, Lynette, I want to build a legacy for her. She's 8 months old. But she says she sees the value in, she's 8 months old now.
Right.
You all know children, they grow real fast. Blink of an eye, you look up and you go, oh my goodness, it's time for you to go to high school. Yeah. So they grow fast. But while they're growing and doing and moving and being involved in different activities, guess what also could be growing? What you set aside for them could be growing at the same time.
There you go.
Because it's compound interest. And so once you have that established, as they grow, so can that. So the earlier you start, the better the opportunity to build that up for them, for that legacy. So while they're growing, you can have some of that what you're setting aside for them, that can grow too.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have to keep that in mind. And also for you. So don't think I'm not just talking about children. The same could happen for you. And the extra feature would be the living benefits if you qualify for that.
Awesome. Again, hey, we are talking with Miss Lynette Hilliard. Okay, the Proactive Podcast Protection. All right. Hey, excuse me, Proactive Protection Podcast. So you got a little tongue twisted with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that is a tongue twister.
Yes.
It can be. It
Yeah.
can be.
So,
It can be a tongue twister. That's for sure.
and we need to be proactive with our legacies, and with our health, with everything, especially
Yes.
for us with our children, your children,
Yes.
where, or not necessarily yours by birth, but someone, I guess, some that you might have adopted, or even children
Mhm.
outside of your home, as you said.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, that's everybody. Grandchildren,
wow,
nieces, nephews.
godchildren. Hey,
I mean, if you have some type of, so we'd have to look at what the relationship is between you all.
okay,
So and that would determine, if indeed that is, we can have that option. Yeah, because it really depends on,
so it's a
what your relationship is between the great. So she is the grandmother. So then that's her granddaughter. So there's the relationship there. So
awesome. Okay,
if you have a spouse, same thing. Partner, spouse,
hmm
partner.
so every policy is, as you said, is custom made. It's not.
It is.
It's no cookie cutter.
Right, right, right. So it really depends on the relationship between the two.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
So yeah. Go ahead.
now you have a lot of different resources available to you to help them out as well. Correct.
I do. Being an independent advisor, that means I can be in contact with a variety of different carriers.
Okay. All right.
So it's
So,
not just one. There's
good.
several,
Yeah.
quite a few,
Yeah. I
quite
was
a
just about to
few.
ask that.
Yeah, so quite a few. So I don't want you to feel that it's just one particular, but there's quite a few.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, look, go ahead and scan that QR code if you are tuning in. If you want
Mhm.
more information, if you'd like for Lynette to call you, or hey, you can call her. All right.
Oh, me. It's fine.
Yeah.
My it's right here.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so if
Hey.
you have a question, because Ron is asking some awesome questions. He's asking some
Mhm.
awesome ones. So you can also ask me this. You can ask me a question if you want some clarity on what we're saying. Because again, these statements are general, but there are some particulars to them. So I'm not going to sit up here and go through all of that because again, it depends on you. They're individualized. So I can't, what is for one person may not be for the next.
It's good. Yeah.
So I don't know how many places where things are based on you. I don't know too many that you can say, well, these are my goals. This is what I, want to achieve. This is what I want to leave for my children, and also have myself protected as well. And I don't know of any other, and maybe of some. I'm not sure, but I can't think of any other that will say, okay, these are your goals, these are your needs, and this is how we can help you get there, so you secure your financial future. It's
Uh,
individualized.
I think it. I don't know if you answered it or so, but you either asked the question or just put out like a rhetorical question. Why hasn't people coming to my neighborhood to talk about this?
Mhm.
So and um, why you think that is? Why people have not come into the neighborhood or the hood or whatever you want to call it and try to help explain this information? Do you think it's because maybe we're not interested or the value system is not there? What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's necessarily the value system isn't there because we
Hmm.
love our children and love our families. So I don't think that has to do with it per se.
Hmm.
But just in based on my interactions, um, I'm going to say that people believe that they can do it the next day, or they don't have to do it right now. They can wait to do it. Or there may be a negative connotation with it. And I understand there's things we don't like to talk about, as I've said previously. But we have to have these conversations, and we have to start now. We have to start it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can't chart your path if we're not having this type of conversation together, so that I can advise you, and then you make an informed decision. That's what it's about. You make an informed decision. I'm there to advise.
Gotcha.
So, but I just think some people think that, you can wait till tomorrow. And as I said, life changes quickly.
Yes,
Children grow up quickly,
Yeah.
So we have to start having these conversations and being candid about it.
Yep, definitely. And I think a lot has to do with the foods that we eat too. That's causing them to grow up quickly. So I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just know that, and in teaching, and I'm looking at students and I'm going, I mean, I'm not the tallest, nowhere near. And I look at some of them and I go, and they tell me what grade they're in, and I go, how? It's like, or they come back from over the summer, and I'm looking at them going, oh my goodness, you got taller, and and so they grow fast. I don't know what's responsible for it, but and we're busy, and I get it, and that's maybe another reason people like, I don't have time to talk about it because I'm busy.
That's a good point.
I'm busy. I have a lot to do, Lynette. Okay, well, I tell you what, you have a lot to do. So all you would have to do is give me a call or scan the QR code. And guess what? I'll help you in terms of, I'm going to contact you. So you don't even necessarily have to say, well, I have to make time I'm going to contact you. That's what I will do. So even in your busyness and as you go to hustle and bustle, I will contact you. So that will take some off. And I understand children and jobs, and I totally get it. I said, but I'm going to say this. You need to help me help you. That's exactly what I'm going to say. Help me to help you. That's what I'm here for. To help you. Not to help Lynette. Not to help me, but to help you and your family. And I'm serious and passionate about that. I care a great deal. I care a great deal as an educator. Like I said, I see a lot. And I just want to be able to help you to make an informed decision. I want to be able to do that. So again, I'm going to say, will you help me to help you?
And you can start by calling that number right there, 757.
Start by calling me.
598-2132.
Exactly. And if you're not viewing it live and you're viewing it later, still call me. Give me a call. Or scan the QR code. That way I have your information and it's just with me. So once you fill it out, it comes directly to me. And I try to make sure, because I don't want you all to give me your information here because it's here. And, people are private, and I totally get that. So that's why I did the QR code, and that you contact me instead of you give me your number here or your information.
That's good.
I already care. See, how about that? That's why I do that, because I understand people in terms of privacy and things of that nature. I respect that. But again, as I said, will you allow me to help you reach your goals for your children, to provide financial protection for your families, to help protect you? Will you allow me to do that? That's not much to ask.
No, this is not.
I don't think it's a lot to ask. So that's what I'm asking.
Again, we're talking about charting the path, securing your financial future. All right. I'm sure most folks do care about their financial future.
Of course they do. And their children as well.
And
We
the
care about
children.
our children.
Definitely the children. Hey.
Yes, adult, the adult children, grandchildren, the children under 17. You care about all of them. And while you care about them, I care about you and them as well. Because I've come across several people and they have young children, 5, and the children they have no proactive protection whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the main reasons that I am an independent advisor, because I care. And so in talking with them about, how this could possibly protect the child from now and follow them throughout their life.
That's some good assurance right there. Definitely. Follow them throughout their life.
That follows them. That's something if you, depending on which option, you choose an option that could follow them from now until their adulthood. Just by making that decision now. So that's why I'm saying it's called proactive. We want to do it right now. Be proactive based on goals. And this is something, once you make this decision, it's going to follow them throughout their life. What a great gift to give.
Yeah.
I mean, you give them, you love them every day, but this is just one more way. Because they're gonna do some fantastic things.
And again, I think it just has not really been explained thoroughly, and so that's why a lot of people may be apprehensive in wanting to know more about, before it's come to proactive protection, aka life insurance or so, and just not understanding the other benefits that come with it.
I can see that. I can see. I understand that because they see a lot. There's a lot on the internet. There's a lot on the television, and they're not really sure. And I get that too. I get that. But again, I'm going to say, will you allow me to help you understand and navigate all of that? Since we're charting a path, I'm the navigator. I'm the navigator. That's who I am. I'm the navigator. We're trying to help chart your path. You know what you want to go from point A to point B. So I'm there to help you navigate. And that's what I'm there to help you get there. That's what I'm here to do, to help you get there based on your goals and needs of your family. But I can't do it if I don't know. So
that's right. So go ahead and scan that QR code. All right. Hey, either scan that right there. And if you even watching the replay, feel free to scan it or just call her directly. All right. There's the number. Again, it won't hurt. All it is just giving you just some information. It's not trying to sell you anything.
No.
So why not? Why let her help you navigate through that? It's good to have somebody that knows what they're doing.
Exactly. And advise. And that's what I'll do. I'll advise and let you know what's before you. And then you make an informed decision.
There you go. Well, Lynette, we're almost about to wrap it up here. Any last words that you want to say to the people out there?
No, just that I want you to know that I do care genuinely about your families and protecting them financially, because we don't know what the next day is going to bring, the next minute's going to bring. And so it would be my pleasure to protect your family, help you protect your family and build a financial future for them as well as yourselves. So that would be my pleasure. So I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to you filling out the information via the QR code. So I look forward to that.
Awesome. Well, hey, we want to thank you all so much for tuning in to the Proactive Protection vodcast. And hey, we look forward to seeing you all again. You all spread the word. Go back and watch the show and let folks know about what the navigator Lynette Hillian is doing. Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Use that.
Yes, use it. Hey, that's right. You want somebody to help you navigate through the
Exactly.
unknown. All right.
Exactly.
So scan that QR code or simply give her a call 757-598-2132. All right. But hey, that's going to do it for yours truly. Hey, you all have a blessed one out there, and we'll see you next week for another segment of the Proactive Protection Podcast.
Bye. Y'all have a good one.